Yeah. Okay, we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week, The Groomer's Cut. I'm back home. Melissa is here joining us tonight.
And I'm back home.
And you're at home. Yeah. And Jennifer will be on shortly. Michelle has some things that she is taking care of this evening, so won't be with us. But we just wanted to, it's always nice having extra new people and having new faces in here. So Jennifer will be back on here in a second. She's been having some problems with her audio this evening. So, oh, wow. Hey, there is a lot of stuff happening out there. California, there's a lot of talk going on out there. I think the majority of the hold on, we're gonna add Jennifer back in here. We can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you now, but I'm hearing a very broken up, very garbled sound. But at least I have something.
Yep. Turn yourself up. We're good. I was just doing a quick intro.
Let's see what that does.
So, so we were just talking about California and a possible that I think that I'm seeing a lot is being closed down out there again. There was a lot of talk on Facebook tonight about it and this afternoon.
Can you just unplug your headset? Try that.
You want me to?
Yeah, just try it.
Okay.
What now? Talk.
Okay.
Well, it's still really garbled. That is weird. I don't know what's wrong here. I'll try to detect what you're saying. I won't be able to read the chat room with this phone.
Yeah, Braille.
It sounds very garbled, but I'll try my best. Maybe I'll make a short appearance and then leave the rest to you guys. That's a bummer. What you sound like staccato.
All right. So does anyone have any updates for us that's watching right now? Have any comments to say about what's going on out there? Do we have any California groomers on right now? That would be nice to get an actual take from somebody there who is dealing with what's going on.
I know Arizona, we're still deemed essential, and our governor basically said that pretty much just have to wear your masks, but not when you're outside. You don't have to wear a mask, but when you go inside and when you're, obviously in your salon and working we're considered essential workers as a groomer, but we just have to follow the personal, what do they call that? The personal protection protocol and the social distancing and that kind of stuff. But we have not shut down anything yet here. What about you guys, Dara? Have they closed anything in New Hampshire?
No, they're fighting anything here. Not I'm not sure it will happen again here. There's some issues with the governor right now, so they're trying to impeach him.
Oh, that's right.
The statewide mask mandate, people are not happy about that in New Hampshire. So see where that goes. But, basically what we're talking about. Angie just chimed in. She said, not a California groomer, but I've seen a lot of California groomers saying they are not closing themselves. They have had enough of shutdowns. So they're going to have their hands full. They're going to have, I am sorry that you guys are going through this. That's
just FYI, I moved to another room and I can hear you fine now.
Oh, yay!
Okay.
The problem was the signal maybe in the room I was in down in my lower level family room. Okay. So I can hear all that. So wait a minute, they've had shutdowns. The groomers have been ordered to shut down in California?
I think so, yeah.
I think that they're starting to shut down a lot of different businesses across California.
Yeah, wow. As we pointed out last week, the federal government back in April broadened the definition of essential workers to include anyone who cares for pets. Right. Anyone who cares for and the word meaning care, meaning including groomers, including, and so there's a federal guideline that is, I would, if I were, if that was happening in my state, which it's not, because Illinois declared us essential in May 1 because of that guideline, I would be pointing out, I would get my congressman, my state senator, to the U.S. government on the phone. I would get their offices on the phone, and I would have them point out the federal guidelines that say that we're essential.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got Terry is out there. You guys have got, the California Groomers have a great resource with Terry and the California Groomer Association. Yeah. I mean, I am sure they are working around the clock, but they need the support. They can't do it themselves. And if people are not willing to step in there and join up with them, you're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah.
Angie said California has groomers listed as limited services.
Okay.
And they must close in many counties. So it's going county by county.
So where it's really bad, I guess.
Yeah, where the numbers are really high.
I mean, we are voluntarily respecting the phase that we're at in Illinois, where we are curbside only. We're not letting customers into the shop, and we're doing health screening of all of our staff. We've closed down our taxi service where we go to people's homes to pick up. We've dramatically changed some things, and we're screening all of our employees very carefully. So, we have a big dog pen out front of our shop. People put their dogs in it, and then they go back to their car, and then we go out and get their dogs. So it's working.
So Jennifer, what are some sorry, Dara, what are some of the things that you've implemented? What have been the biggest things that you've implemented because of this pandemic that have changes that you've made to your actual business model because of COVID?
Quite a few things, and I was really intrigued, Dara, with your topic this evening, because I was just talking yesterday to my staff. We had a little sort of pre-holiday staff meeting, get ready for the big holiday rush. And we were talking about the things that had changed in 2020, especially since we reopened in May, and after being closed down for, almost 2 months, and saying what practices were we going to retain. And one of them is, I think, very definitely the going straight to the bathtub with every dog. We used to, like, if a dog needed some, shaving down or dematting, or maybe a hand strip, or, usually it was a hand strip or some mat work or something that had to be done before the bath. But now we are 100%, every dog goes right to the tub, and I think that'll probably remain. And I think the way that we sanitize is going to dramatically remain. We never used to have those UV light ovens. We bought a whole bunch of the Tool Clean ovens. We are using, I bought a fogger air disinfector. I already had a UV light installed on my furnace, on my heating and air conditioning system. Yeah. I had that done in 2015 because of the canine flu that started in Chicago. And now we're doing, that. We're very glad we have that, but we also got a disinfecting fogger. Everybody's used to cleaning every surface between every dog more carefully. Mm-hmm. That's, and I think that just our a little bit more caution about, who we let in the shop and under what conditions, that's probably going to remain as well. Mm-hmm. How about you guys?
I just want to point out, Lisa said that they have the dirty dogs come in the back door near the tubs and go straight into the tub. Their clean dogs go out the front.
Very good idea.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we could do that. Our back door it's not as pleasant back there. So and it's dark, especially when we're getting dark at 3:30 in the afternoon now. It's dark back there. But our tables have gotten a lot further apart. Where I had 6 grooming stations, now we have 4. We've always had the barrier beside our tubs, so that's worked. And it's nice having the large tubs because we can still work across, and it's basically a 4-foot space between us with the size of the tubs we have. I think that's
a barrier. What kind of a barrier do you have in your tubs?
Privacy fence.
So
like
in between,
a vinyl privacy fence.
Vinyl fencing.
Yep.
What an interesting idea. And that's to also help the dogs.
So they don't see each other, and it does a little bit with the noise reduction because there's not this big giant open space. And yep, the vinyl privacy fence, it's easy to clean.
Yeah.
So
that's such a great idea. I just never thought about it from the point of view of even the dogs. That's a great idea. I love that.
Yep, it still gives us flexibility, and they don't see each other. And sometimes we've got a pair of huskies that come in that have to be in the tub together, and they're very nervous and anxious around other dogs, so they can go and not see another dog in the shop. So that helps them. But and no clients. Lisa also says no clients in the shop. So we have so much space that it's easy to keep a social distancing in our shop. And with the changes, the space is just more open. Trying to think, our cleaning and sanitizing has always been there. We've always been doing that in between. I don't know if Bobby is on tonight, but I talked to Bobby the other night on the phone.
Are we talking about Bobby Bauer from South Dakota?
Yes. Yep. And I didn't know, and I think Melissa, she kind of threw us on the disinfectant.
Oh yeah.
And that the disinfectant every night. Bobby is on. Good. By Cova. Not Cova. Oh my gosh.
No, by OSHA.
OSHA guidelines and standards that your disinfectant needs to be dumped out every night as well.
You mean
whatever you don't use, anything that you've already mixed. That's already been diluted, like in the spray bottles and stuff. I never thought of that either. And I'm a huge proponent of dumping everything out at the end of the night. Shampoos, conditioners, anything that's already made gets thrown away. But I always just figured that it's disinfectant. So, but she said by OSHA standards, you've introduced air and water into it. So therefore you've introduced bacteria.
Yep.
Interesting.
So we're going to start tomorrow and just mix up 1 cup of it every day and pour it, because it still has to be we've got the 4 grooming stations and the 3 tubs. So it still has to be at each station. So we're just going to do that 1 cup and put it in all 4 bottles and or all 6 and dump it out at night. So, and same with your concentrated,
shampoos.
No, not the Simple Green. It says right on the Simple Green bottle for the concentration, not to keep it more than 14 hours.
Okay.
And she's like, it's on the bottle. I'm like, oh my God, it's right here on the bottle.
Yeah.
Aren't we supposed to be reading these labels?
I think I was already doing that. We certainly don't keep any shampoo overnight in stuff. We have a Prima tank. We use a Prima machine, but we make sure it's emptied out, and then we purge it with hot water and vinegar and every night. So so we've already been doing that. But I think another thing that's going to stay with our industry, not necessarily in our shops, but in our industry as a whole, is I think that, online webinars, which were very rare prior to the pandemic starting, and now they're very common. Yeah. I think they are such a great deal. And especially, like, for example, IPG, Linda Easton, International Professional Groomers, they are doing their certifications now by Zoom on a monthly basis. It's dramatically reduced the cost. Some of the tests are just $25 a piece because there's no travel, there's no hotels, you don't have to haul your dogs around, you can do it from your own shop. Certifications online, I know Linda has been incredibly thorough about showing how you can tell them where to comb, you can have them lift with the comb, you can look at it, you can have them measure length with the comb, you can do it all by camera. As long as you can talk to them on Zoom and interact, you can actually do, I think, a very good certification. And I think remote certifications and webinars are here to stay because they are so convenient. And I'm sure that we will all love to go back to our trade shows. We love our trade shows. We miss them. But I would not be surprised to see lots and lots of webinars continuing.
Well, if they're going to do that, you know what they're going to have to do at the expos?
What?
They're going to have to up their ante.
They are going
to have to have something that is not offered online that are going to make people come to them. They're going to have
besides just the shopping.
Besides the shop.
Yeah. The shopping's a lot though, Melissa.
It is. Yeah. But that's why I'm saying besides just the shopping, because that's what most of us, that's always at the forefront of, we're going to go and take classes too, but I usually show up with a list.
Yeah.
What do you think about the grooming contests? I know they've tried to do some of them remotely, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that they may have to go back to just in person.
I don't know, but let me come back to that because Angie said she likes that they don't let leashes and collars in anymore.
We don't do that either
anymore. Love that. I wish I don't like taking, it's so stressful.
Yes.
That's like one more thing I got to remember about
yes. It's
let
a
them
hassle,
take them home.
right?
It's a hassle. I'd much rather have those, but.
It was always something that Kate and I would do as a general rule where we would take it off and give it to them. And that was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so it's something now
that too.
Since I'm traveling and doing all this stuff when I'm home and I'm working from my home studio, I do the same thing. I just go outside and they don't come in the house. They pull up, text me, I go out, I get them, I take the collar and leash off, put my slip lead on from my house, and then take them in and groom them. And then and I spray my slip leads with a disinfectant and let it air dry in between.
Yeah.
Groomer just make it easier.
That's great.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Groomer Jen, I want to clarify. Yes, I knew she had said that she took the Barkley sanitation class. Simple Green is not a disinfectant. I was just using it as the disinfectant is different. Simple Green's just a cleaner. And I think it's Bobby down there who said that is not a Simple Green does make a peroxide disinfectant formula called Clean Fresh for anyone who wants to know about that.
I just found Libman's also just came out because it's so hard to find good products to clean and disinfect with. Libman's just came out with their peroxide based cleaner and I bought a small one and I really like it. And I have quite a few dogs of my own. So I'm constantly cleaning up messes. And so that's one to put on your radar to look for. And it's readily available. It's Libman's, Libmans. And it's their cleaner. They make the mops and all the cleaning tools. Now they actually have a cleaning product and it's peroxide based. So it's a good alternative to using bleach or the other, heavy cleansers.
Right. Okay. I do like the Simple Clean as a cleaner and it smells good, especially the lavender one. That one smells really
Well,
good.
I think your point about how the conferences and all the in-person things will have to offer maybe more than what they've done in the past in terms of the benefit of coming in person and the travel and the hotels and everything. It is actually, the online webinars have been such a massive, but I mean, I just want to say this to Barkley and to, all of us. I mean, I've done webinars. I know you guys have done them. My Groomer's Guide webinars. It's been a really great thing to be able to stay in touch with people and to grow the educational conversation. But God bless Barkley. I mean, they had to completely redo their entire organization from being an event production organization to being an online, tech. I mean, oh my gosh. God love those people. The hard work, the hard work that they have done, and the dramatic shift, and they've just done it. They have done it, and they are amazing. And I just am very grateful.
Well, they had to. I mean,
that's right.
It's like us. They made a lot of the states made us essential, and then federally they passed that law, but we had to adapt.
Yep.
Because otherwise, that's what this whole conversation is tonight. Is how how we had to adapt, and groomers are adapters to begin with. We're
with live animals, right?
Yeah, we have to be able to roll with things and think on the fly and come up with stuff. And I think that overall, as an industry, I think we've done amazing with just trying to make it easy on the animals and easier on the owners while still being able to operate our business.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I think that this conversation extends beyond our, our grooming shops and our industry. There may be some changes in society as a whole that are more permanent. And, my husband is a college professor. I think that the online classes and their Zoom-based classes are not going to go away. They're not going to do. I think they're all dying to get back to campus, but there's a lot of things that they can do, via the internet. I think can you imagine what this last year would have been like if we didn't have the internet? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
If we didn't have Zoom, if we didn't have, I can't.
I think it's allowed us, especially educationally, allowed us to streamline so much of our education to be able to just log on and say, okay, I'm going to pay $99 and take this class or the series of webinars and get certificates of completion and, be able, or, certificates of participation, and be able to have something tangible given back to you, and then be able to say, okay, so now I know the pandemic's not going to last forever. I can save up and pick what shows I want to go to and not feel like I have to chase the education anymore.
Right.
Because I know I used to feel like that. Like I used to have to choose what shows I wanted to go to that I could afford to go to, within a year span, because that's a lot of money out of pocket, but it's also a lot of money out of your business because you're leaving.
Yes.
So it streamlined our education to allow us the flexibility, to go to these shows and be like, okay, now I know I could take this one and that one and this one online, but this is a big one. I want to do, Hershey or, whatever. And those are the do not misses.
That's a really good point, because usually when people would go to grooming conferences, they would bemoan the fact that they can only go to this one class during a time slot when they wanted to actually do all of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it has a lot. There've been a lot of positive things that have come our way because of this entirely uncomfortable situation.
If the pandemic restrictions don't end sometime soon, the restaurant industry is going to suffer permanent damage in ways that are just going to be heartbreaking. And the theater, fine arts, entertainment industry are going to be devastated. I mean, we've already had one of our favorite restaurants here near us shut down. They made it through the first few months, but they're not making it now. It's heartbreaking, really.
Yeah. So I want to jump over here really quick. Angie pointed out peroxide eats metal, so we don't want to use too much on collars and leashes or our tables, and not to use it near cats. So thank you.
Hydrogen peroxide you can't use on cats.
Or near cats, in your cat grooming areas. Yep. And Renee asked, she was wondering about COVID cancellations. Has anyone had any cancellations due to that? She said they had 4 last week and 6 this week.
We've had a couple. Yeah. Yep.
I've had a few people that had pre-made appointments with me for when I got back that were either tested positive, but they had no symptoms because so many people are testing. Or I actually had one customer that tested, her and her husband both tested positive, and they both just felt like they had the flu pretty much. So I think it's going to get more prevalent as more people are testing.
Yeah.
But
that's a good thing. That means that, well, hopefully, they'll self-restrict. I mean, it's really heartbreaking that we, as a country, we're in this horrible condition because we didn't take it seriously back in the day. Other countries have, done it way better than we have, and so it's going to be, I think one of the best things that I got all week, I got a Christmas card from an old friend, and it said, instead of Merry Christmas or, a Happy New Year or Happy Holidays, the card on the front, it had a cute little white dog on the front, and it said, Happy End of 2020. Thank God this is over. That's worth celebrating. That's a holiday in and of itself. Putting the end of this year behind us.
I do not want to cheers 2020.
I would have to disagree though, because I just said this to my husband last night. I said, it's been a really hard year, but it has afforded me personally so much growth.
That's great, Melissa. Give me examples. That's awesome to hear that.
Like just the opportunity to do these webinars that I've been doing. It has opened up so many other doors, and it's unfortunate that I'm not able to do what I would normally be doing. Like I wasn't able to do any of my Barkley shows or, any of that stuff, but I was able to pick up on other webinars and get myself set up for when they do start with opening up the trade shows, Barkley again, and get back into speaking that way. But it also allowed me to participate with, the most important thing was to participate with Dara and to get involved with the school and to be able to get my master's certificates and to start to build on that platform of allowing ourselves that kind of open door to be able to further our education, because you're not doing what you would normally be doing.
That's such a great point, Melissa. And you are already a very advanced. You're a very advanced person, and here you've gone. After, even though you were very accomplished professionals, both of you have both advanced your careers by continuing to learn and do new things and take an opportunity like this as a time to take more classes. I know, Dara, you have done so much with this downtime. This downtime has not been downtime for you. You've grown like crazy. And even putting, the groomer's cut on and all of the things that you do. So it speaks well of people who use this time to actually, improve things for themselves and their families and their companies. I
think that it's, even though it has been really hard, and it's still very hard, and it's not going to get any easier anytime within the next, couple months here, but
Couple more months, though.
I know. I feel like if it didn't happen, I would not have had the opportunities that I was presented with that actually came my way.
Yeah.
And I would have been too busy doing other stuff and I wouldn't have been able. So all that other stuff kind of floated away.
That is true. Yeah.
And I think it makes people appreciate each other more, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes people
100%.
appreciate, I never realized how much I miss. I've got a dozen friends that are just dear to me and I miss them so much. And of course, my mother, who's in a senior facility, I never will ever again take for granted just sitting on the couch next to her and cuddling and watching a movie. I'll never again take that for granted. It really does make you count your blessings.
And I think that that's something that all of us, within our industry and all of us, as we look at all these changes and all these things that we've had to adapt to, understand that a lot of these things will stay with us and that they're only for the betterment of our business, of ourselves. And I think that there's a lot of positive things that have come out of this negative situation. But I'm always a glass half full kind of girl. So
well, that's the best
I'm
way
always
to be.
just happy I have a glass. I'm like, I don't care what's in it. Thanks, I even have a glass. So
I think that the two things that I'm not going to go back to, I'm not going to go back to taking collars and leashes. We do for our daycare. We have a separate daycare, and we have to have the collars and leashes for that. But but she disinfects them all as they come in every day. The collars and leashes, not collecting those, I think I'm going to keep not doing that. And just taking the slip leads. And the other thing is, I think every single dog going straight to the bath, that is not going to change now. I really like working only on clean dogs. And of course, I think the industry focus on sanitation is never. What about you, Dara? Is there anything that you've done differently that you're never going to go back to?
I've always put the dogs in the tubs first. So that has been, I work that way. I just, like you said, I prefer working on a clean dog start to finish.
Yeah.
Get them. And we have so many dirty dogs. Melissa knows. Our dogs come in and they are sand and silt and
oh yeah, like the beach and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
they are
and
filthy, marsh and mud.
Oh. Yeah, but you guys are you're on the coast there, right?
Yeah. They are beach dogs. They are play dogs, hardy dogs. I would like to stress and say, what haven't we picking up the disinfecting and the sanitizing and putting that at a higher level has been that it's a lot of work, but it's definitely for the better.
Yeah.
I think had this not happened, I guess going in Melissa's direction, we were the switch. We're shifting and the students are going onto a different floor than what our groomers are on. So we'll actually
you're separating the school from the shop.
Yeah. So that is a huge change that is coming, and hopefully that will never go back.
Yeah.
So, but I don't, and it's because we can only operate at such a small number of students right now because we can't operate at full capacity. So,
but I don't know about you guys, but one thing that has happened during the pandemic that has been, we just had our Illinois Professional Pet Groomers, IPPGA, our board meeting last night. And we were all saying that we're all seeing the same thing. So I know it's not just my shop. New puppies like crazy. And I think that that's going to have a permanent, at least a long-term, let's just say a long-term impact on our shops, because so many people bought new puppies and new dogs during the pandemic. I think that this is going to mean our numbers at least will be up for a while, for some years to come. Don't you think?
I didn't think about that. We do.
We were just talking about that fact that there's not enough groomers and people are continuously getting pets.
More. Yeah.
I have 2 litters due. One is due any day now. And my other
What
one
do you
is
breed, Melissa? What do you breed?
Imperial Shih Tzus, little small Shih Tzus,
Nice.
little fuzz balls.
Nice. Cute.
So yeah, I have puppies coming on due the 8th, any day now, and then the Christmas week. I have two sister females that are due. So, and my puppies are already sold before I even have my
I'll bet
litter.
they are.
So,
See?
yeah, see, so that's that. I have a waiting list, but that's the thing, is that so many people are bringing new pets in because their lives have morphed into this home life that they did not have before.
Yeah.
How do you think this is going to affect the animals when people start going back?
I think personally, I don't think people are going to go back to that full crazy schedule like people used to work. I think that businesses have changed their infrastructure to accommodate all this online, utilizing Zoom and all these online types of
that's really
things.
true. My daughter has been working for Volkswagen in the leasing department, doing the call center, lease issues, and had been working for Volkswagen for almost a year, and they had moved them home to their computers months ago and announced in January that was going to, they announced that starting that no matter what happens from January on, it's permanent.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Wow. I would love to do that.
Oh. You think
I would be so happy being in front of my computer all day long, doing paperwork and state stuff, and
I don't believe you, Dan.
Not my
people person.
Believe her, because that's what you love to do.
That's what you love
to do. I hate to do it. I am just the worst at that. That is like no.
Love sitting here and doing everything about getting everything organized and the catalogs and changing it and adding it and fixing it, and I love it. Love it.
I think that
that's where I thrive.
If we could groom virtually, that would be perfect.
That's one thing that we as a profession never have to worry about. We will always be a hands-on profession.
Yep. And
I would say groom a dog virtually.
We are recession proof.
We are
recession proof. Absolutely.
Because
we learned that in 2006.
Yes.
Yep. And people may extend the time that they go in between the groomings. And that's one of the changes I think that we've all seen, is that people obviously had state mandated, time that they couldn't take their pets to us. But I think also people just financially trying to find their footing in this whole mess.
Yep.
Have extended out like services that they would normally be on a regular schedule for, but that have found that it is so important to them that they make that budget work. You know what I mean? Like so for us as groomers, it really is. It's when people say, why are you a groomer? Why are you? Because I know I can always work.
Always.
I can always make a dollar.
Always a job out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if I don't want to go work for somebody else, I could work for myself and still make a living.
I mean,
and there are very few professions left that you can do that.
And honestly, it's true that after the 2008 crash and the recession that followed and the massive unemployment that happened then for a time, that was followed by an intense increase in pet ownership. Pet Age magazine published and talked about that, and how since that time, in the 12 years since that time, that pet ownership exploded. And that's why we have a so-called groomer shortage. It's not that we really have a shortage of groomers. We have more groomers than ever before, but we have way more pets than ever before.
Right.
The increase in pet ownership is greatly surpassing the increase in the growth in the number of groomers. Yeah. So Dara, your school, especially because you were also ahead of the game by being online, you had a rich variety of online courses prior to even this, you know, having a school and having online courses is so, so important. I think one of the things that needs to change in the industry, we need more schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hands-on.
Well, we need so many more groomers that are invested in, and invested in their community, in their industry, you know, that want to pass along that knowledge. Dara and I talked extensively about this when I was there, is that it's so unfortunate that we look at each other as competition so much, and it's really untrue.
Absolutely.
Because those customers that are going to price jump and only look for the lower prices are never going to be a good customer. You know, they're only going to show up to wherever it's the cheapest.
Yeah.
But those customers that we actually groom into understanding what the service is and how it's needed and how often and all that kind of stuff, and how we value our education, we need those kind of groomers to start stepping up to teach other groomers, because the generations that are coming up behind us have a whole different idea of what the industry is and what they want from the industry. And the generation coming up behind us of consumers is very different on what they are looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
So, you know, it's all about adapting and changing.
I cannot stress enough.
Us old people have to start stepping up and being like, okay, here's how they did it in my day.
No, it's really true. People who are groomers, there's not a single one of you that should ever, ever, ever give a second thought to competition. Just don't.
Yep.
You don't need to. I actually did before I selected the location, when I opened my shop 7 years ago, Love for Dogs in Glencoe, Illinois, I actually used U.S. Census data. You can go online and look at U.S. Census data, and it has dog ownership in households. And I did a map using the census charts of how many dogs were within 5 miles of all of the addresses that I was looking at renting. And there are 60,000 dogs within 5 miles of my grooming shop when I opened.
And that's just registered dogs.
And there's only 2 other grooming shops, myself and 2 other grooming shops within a 5-mile area. And I'm like, there's no way I even need to be thinking, you know, we're all very collegial with each other, thank God, because, you know, there's zero competition, zero. There's plenty of dogs.
And the thing should be that we should work together with each other to set a standard and to say, you know, oh, well, you can't come in here when we get those people that want to bully us and tell us how to run our business.
Yep.
You can't come in here and act like that. Well, I'll just go down the street. Well, let them go down the street.
Yeah, go down the street. Fine.
But they should also, when they go down the street, that groomer should also be like, no, sorry, that's, you know, we band together. That's not okay. Because a restaurant would do that. If you go into somebody's restaurant and you wreak havoc and yell and scream at the staff, they'll tell the other restaurants, you know, the other servers, and we're starting to see more and more of that in the group.
Do you guys do that? Because I have, with the groomer just down the street from me. She and I text each other all the time with stay away from client X.
Yeah. We actually have a state group on Facebook that we will post client alerts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a groomer group.
Yeah, like people that don't pay their bills, or people.
Yep.
Just
any kind of problem, anything that, you know, upsets the apple cart. And so, you know, you will always get those people, and they always look for the chaos. They always come and they look for the chaos because they can wreak havoc within that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't have chaos and you have things organized and you know this is our protocols, they can't. And you don't deviate from that, they can't get away with those kind of things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. No, I couldn't agree more.
So those are all things, you know, that like the pandemic has made shops step up and say, okay, we have to put protocols into place.
That is true.
So,
yep. Yeah, and it's making you stick to them too, and it's gonna be hard
Yeah,
once you get into that
yeah.
habit. Once you get into that habit, it's habit. It's just like you're grooming table manners. You start in
Yeah.
one place and you work through it the way you do it, so it's gotta be in all aspects of the business.
The one thing I will enjoy changing, though, is welcoming clients back into the shop. I miss having them in the lobby, and the retail sales, of course, have suffered because of it. We try to put a retail table out on the sidewalk, but it's just not the same. And I really believe in if there's a problem dog, like a scared puppy or a brand new first time client or a rescue, a lot of times a rescue dog has just come out of the shelter. I really like to let the customers come in and stay with the dog. We have we are completely transparent at my shop. We have what we call owner stay grooms all the time. And where the owner will stay with the dog either for part or all of the groom. I'm going to look forward to having those start up again, because those are good for the dogs, and I want to do what's good for the dogs. And I love that we have clients that appreciate that it's helpful to us to have them there comforting the dog. So I have missed that. That is something I have missed.
Well, it also helps the client. It helps them to understand what we do, and and this pandemic has had more people tell me, I appreciate my groomer so much now because they've been trying to do things, on their own at home. And I've even had Zoom calls with my clients and be like, okay, do this bait. You got them in the tub. Okay, show me. And they're in the sink or whatever. And just talking them through how to clean up little things. Right. So,
my favorite comment from a client was from a dad who had been, a large, 120-pound, big, thick, creamy white, doodle dog with super thick hair, and a sweet dog, Dewey. And they were coming in every 2 weeks for brush outs because they like to keep him long. And when we were shut down and he had to I was kind of coaching him via, iPhone FaceTiming.
Right.
And he turned to me at one point as he was trying to brush out the dog and brush out the mats. He turned to me, he said, "You don't charge me enough." I said, "You're right. I don't."
Wow.
I know. I think with all the big changes comes a lot of really good things.
Yeah.
Being appreciative. Yes.
Yes.
Lisa had said a little bit ago, she has not found that the increased attention the dogs are getting have improved their manners. I agree.
Yeah, there's not a lot of training going on, just a lot
a lot of snuggling. Yeah.
Oh, those babies, they are they don't want to leave.
No, I think a lot of people are going to wind up, still working from home a portion of their schedule. And I think socially, that whole dynamic is going to change.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us as groomers, we just need to start to step up. And it used to be that when you worked in a shop, you didn't tell anybody else what blade you used or what shears or how you got the head to look this way or that way, because you didn't want them to know your secrets, And so that needs to change. We need to start educating these, groomers, whether they're baby groomers because they're really young or they're just new to the industry.
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of people that come into the industry older.
That's true.
Yeah, I do. We get a lot of people in 50s.
Yeah,
because they've always loved dogs, and the kids have grown up and gone away, and now they get to do what they love, play with the puppies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to throw Kim under the bus for that one because she did that this summer.
Yeah, that's right.
2020 made her a groomer and a business owner.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There have been so many awesome things that I've just personally seen of other groomers that we know and who have just kicked indoors during COVID. So it's just a matter of what you want to let stop you.
Yeah.
where there's a will, there's a way, I think. And I think that, we'll get back to, I miss the trade shows. I miss the camaraderie. I miss, all that. I miss teaching in a live
Classroom.
setting. Yeah. In an actual classroom, those kind of things are great. But I think that this avenue has allowed us so many freedoms to be able to.
And I think that this has been a great opportunity to reflect on, coming to the end of the year. So thank you very much, Dara, for this topic. I think this is really helpful to kind of.
I can't take the credit. This was all Melissa.
Yay, Melissa.
I can't take the credit.
Say, though, that I hope that as we begin sometime in 2021, certainly I would think by the summertime in 2021, when we start being able to see each other again, we should keep in mind that probably significant numbers of people that we get to see that we haven't gotten to see for a while may have suffered losses. I mean, people, loved ones, they may have had loved ones die. We're going to see so many people grieving. And then all of the people that haven't been able to have weddings or funerals, haven't been able to do things with the, have had loved ones and family members die that they couldn't be with them as they died. Can you imagine? I mean, there's going to be a lot of trauma for us to clean up with each other as well.
Yep. And that's why we have to, when we get to see each other face to face, there can't be judgment. There has to just be love. And that's it. And go forward from there. It's Michelle is missing tonight. And one of the best things she ever that to me was just love them through it. That's it. There's
that is who Michelle is, and I love
and
that.
So that has just stayed on my heart forever. And I constantly think that, okay, I gotta get my head in that game. Out of judgment and into love. So that's always a big one.
Yep. And I'm doing the same thing with clients too, things that like normally, if they canceled or didn't show up or did a last minute on me or something, or the dog was in horrible condition. Right now, when people come in with some horrible, sad story about, I couldn't do this or and I had to do that, I just say, okay, because you got to figure everybody right now is just doing the best they can.
Absolutely. And that's where we have to come from is, what? Everybody survives differently. And everybody deals with trauma and all this disruption because everybody's life has been disrupted in one way or another.
Right.
We are blessed that most of us have been able to stay and work. But there are a lot of people that don't even have that option.
Right.
So that's a huge thing.
I'm gonna hold close in my heart any groomer right now who's been shut down again, because that's just awful.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. I keep hearing bits and pieces from Maine, and it's
that they are shutting down.
That it's been back and forth up there too. So
do they not know that the federal government says we're essential?
It's a small group, and as spread out as they are, I mean, we have, I guess the thing you look at when we talk about our numbers, and you say we have maybe 170,000 groomers across the country, right?
Yeah, probably more over 200, but yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I got on PetAge.
Yeah.
PetAge was the one who released that one for the beginning of or the end of 2019. Okay. So unless we jumped up in numbers drastically, but they they said that they recognized about 170,000 groomers.
Wow.
Only about 10% of the groomers go to any type of continuing education or are even a part of this now. Wow. So 10% of us, you've still got 80% of the groomers that are out there that aren't having these conversations, that aren't talking to each other, that aren't going to trade shows.
Or taking
how do you reach them?
CPR certifications.
Right.
Or learning about sanitation protocols, or, oh my gosh, that's really scary. 80%?
Yeah,
80%.
that's a
Of
high
groomers
number.
never go to do any continuing education. That's really sad.
No. So you want the
I've heard them
statistics
say that.
Yeah.
for
You know,
hairdressers? Are you ready for this?
yeah.
Hairdressers are required to.
Yes.
Yeah.
But 95% of the world hairdressers, this is international, 95% of them make minimum wage.
Wow.
There is only a 5% that there are hairdressers making above and beyond.
Wow. Grooming
That's
is a better deal, guys. Go into pet
Yeah.
grooming.
My
Anybody
mom was a hairdresser
debating
for-
between dog grooming and cosmetology? Dog groomers make better money.
They make better money, but it's way harder on your
It's a
body.
lot
Way
harder.
dirtier. Way
It's a
dirty. My
lot
mom's a
harder.
hairdresser 40 plus years, and
Yes.
she says it constantly. And she was my receptionist when I had my shop and everything, and she says it all the time. She's like,
But
"Oh,
hey,
it's
you know,
so
it keeps
dirty."
you physically fit. I mean,
That's
I'm in my
what
60s and I finally
Yeah.
dropped some pounds, and I'm probably in better shape now than I was when I was just teaching high school.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It does. I'm not with Dara at the school right now. I'm back home, so now I'm having to find stuff to do because I'm not on my feet and I'm sitting on the computer and I'm writing curriculum and doing all this, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to move. I need to get up and move around. So
That's what
it
I
is-
do have to watch when I'm on the computer too much.
yeah. But,
Yeah.
well,
As much as I
hopefully
love
this
it.
new year brings some amazing changes to everybody's life,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that a lot of these things that we've adapted thus far that are for the betterment of ourselves, of our industry, of our businesses, of all that stays with us. And we don't forget that necessity isn't it? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
So, why, look at that and think that, we made these changes because we had to. They were necessary changes for growth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Amen.
Yep.
Well said. So happy end of 2020, everybody.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
still have a couple more shows. Come on now.
I know, but we can start to say yay.
Actually, we're not going to have one on the week of Christmas, right?
No, we'll wait until after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that, just like Thanksgiving, that's too busy.
I think I'm going to be too
so-
busy. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll
Yeah.
do what? So that gives us next week.
Next week,
And
and then
then-
maybe off for.
And then we'll be off and we'll go back on the week of New Year's.
Okay.
And lucky me, I'll get to do it from sunny Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, rub it in, Dara.
Florida. I know. I'm in my
Taking
New
my
Hampshire,
home office to Florida.
and
we
I'm
are
back
driving.
in
Here in
Arizona.
Chicago, just FYI.
I know you're cold. It's in
cold.
the 70s here
I'm
in
wearing
Arizona.
my sweater.
I have my New Hampshire sweatshirt on, my Rays.
Still a t-shirt here, guys.
And
And I know Dara is barefoot. I've got fuzzy socks on. I'm freezing, and Dara is in New Hampshire with bare feet and a t-shirt.
I can't help it. And Kim, congratulations. She is opening on Thursday.
Oh, good for her. Yay.
Yes.
Yay. That's great.
Kudos
So-
to you, Kim.
There we go. All right. We're going to shut us down. We're at an hour. 2 weeks in a
Good.
row. Woo. We're up in our ante these days. It was fun having you on, Melissa.
Oh,
Thank
Melissa,
you.
you're the
Great.
best.
At least I didn't call you Michelle.
That's true. You did call me Michelle once.
But we love you, Michelle, and I think it's wonderful.
I know.
Michelle.
I miss her.
Does
I
everybody
know.
know what she's doing? She's off helping her husband, who is blind, get his master's degree. I mean, wow.
Yeah, it's his final tonight. So they are
She
doing.
is. What a saint she is.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, she's amazing. You
She's
all
my
you guys are
spirit
both
animal.
amazing. Yep.
I'm always,
Back
always
at that. Icon
like-
Award winner.
yeah, I know,
That
Dara.
was a
Dara
great
is
week for
a,
2020
she's
for
a
you,
force
Miss
to be
Dara.
reckoned with.
Pet industry icon.
Oh. Oh boy. All right. On that note, I'm cutting you off.
All right, guys. Have a great week, everybody.
Yes, have a
too.
good week.
Take
We will
care.
see you next week, and we'll come up with our next topic. So we'll have Michelle back. And hey, Melissa, you want to join us next week
Yeah,
also?
awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to come in. Let me know. I'll jump in and join you guys. I'm
You're
usually
awesome, Melissa. Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be good.
I'll be on puppy watch.
Puppy watch.
Well, maybe we'll get to see pictures.
Yeah, I might have babies by then. Well, hopefully Jade will have her puppies by then, by next week.
Wow.
So, yep. Well, you guys have a great night.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a good week grooming, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Take